adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
I thought you were loyal, now you broke the one rule. Now you're burning bridges like a fool. You took my trust and you fed lies, and now I see right through the fake tears in your eyes. Selling out for the quiet life, you're just like a clown, yeah. Called yourself a friend, now it's me before we'll leave you up and smoke. Radio, fuck the fake friends who always forsake me. Now I know that you're never gonna break me.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm going back across the pond again. I might, people said I should just move over that way because I'm so involved in the scene there, and I can tell you too that, I don't know, in this day and age with all the shit that's going on, I like it, and I feel more free and safe over there on that side of the pond than I do on this side of the pond. But here we are with some killer new music from a killer band from Ireland. So let's welcome to the show Gav from Survivalist. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. And yeah, I mean, certain areas, definitely. There's definitely obviously bonuses to living here than in America, but there's also still, the country's still run by a pack of dickheads, man. So wherever you are, you're going to get them.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I travel a lot for years and years now. And this year in particular, more than ever, that statement is true everywhere in the world. It's like, yeah. I used to go to places to escape the insanity going on here. And now I just go somewhere else that has the insanity. And when I talk to my friends on your side of the pond, people don't realize this. It's one thing when you're visiting someplace. It's another thing when you live there and have to deal with it. Like as an American going to the UK, I don't have to deal with the bullshit you have to deal with, you know? So yeah, it's like, oh, I feel much better over here. Then you live there.
Yeah.
and it's, and I've experienced it in other places because I've lived in multiple places. And it's like when I was younger, I always moved to where I vacationed. Before I ever got married and had kids, that was what I was known for in my family. It's like if I vacation somewhere, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm moving here. And like the next week I would move there.
I think any vacation I've ever been on, every time I leave, or if it's tour, if we're away, every time I leave that place, I'm like, fuck, I would love to move here. But then it's the same as if you live anywhere, man. Everywhere, every location in the world, every place, every town, every city, every country has its own shit. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
You're just kind of desensitized to that because you're there on holiday and you only see the nice touristy bits, but you're not living there every day dealing with taxes and dealing with getting shafted by the man.
Totally. Well, here's a perfect example. Okay, my son is in the Army. My daughter-in-law, her ex-husband was in the Army. Both were stationed in Germany. My son lived off base. He didn't want to live on base, so he lived as if he was amongst the Germans, not on an American military base.
Okay.
My daughter, on the other hand, she lived on the military base. She loved Germany. She wants to still live there now. She thought it was the greatest place on earth. My son, not so much. What's the difference? She was living in Germany, but in America, in Germany, when you're living on the base.
Yeah, she's not dealing with the actual day-to-day. Yeah. And
my son alone with dealing with the utility companies was enough to make him want to, jump ship, and see, that's something you don't when you're vacationing or like you're stationed somewhere in the military on a base. You don't realize those real life situations that people that actually are locals go through.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's the same with where we are situated now. Obviously, I like where I live. I like Ireland. I like Belfast. We're actually just outside Belfast. So the majority of the band, 3 out of 4 of us, live in a place called Bangor, which is about 15 miles out. But we typically play all of our shows in Belfast whenever it comes to Northern Ireland. So Belfast is our home city. It's where the majority of our fan base is. It's where the majority of our family are. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
But I love living here. I love the majority of the aspects of living here. And in comparison to other countries in the world, we're very fortunate. And especially with the state of the world, Ukraine, Palestine, all those countries that are just getting invaded and shit's hitting the fan all around the world. We're very fortunate to where we are. But yeah, it still comes with its drawbacks. There's still government, there's still politicians in power that just shouldn't be there. There's still parties in power that shouldn't be there. There's still, the everyday man, taxes are still fucking going up every single fucking day. People are still paying out of their assholes for absolutely fuck all. Living crisis is ridiculous. Homeless crisis is ridiculous. But I love my city and I love Ireland. And yeah, that's why we kind of put that at the forefront, because we are from Belfast. We are a Belfast band.
And I love hearing that too. And, you kind of reminded me of, like, I'm originally from New York and New Jersey, and I was born in New York, grew up in Jersey. I love New York City, and I love to leave New York City. Like, I love living just outside the city. And that's what I was thinking of when you're talking about you live just outside Belfast. It's like, yeah, to me, the city is home, but I like living just outside the city where I can escape it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
And I think we're very fortunate as well to be part of the community that we're part of. Obviously, being part of the alternative community and the metal community and rock and all of that kind of music that we're into. A lot of people there are a lot more open-minded, a lot more understanding. Don't get me wrong, you still get dickheads, like, but
they're everywhere.
It's everywhere, you know what I mean? But like, the majority of the people are a lot more open-minded. They're more willing to have a conversation. They're more willing to hear a view. They're more willing to step back and separate themselves from a situation and actually listen to people speak.
I'm a big believer in that. Okay, so listen, you have to really talk to people to get where their head's at. And in this country, we have that problem right now. Nobody can talk to each other because, God forbid, you don't agree exactly with what they're saying. Then the name calling, the attacking, and all that starts. But the bottom line is, do you know what their reasons are? Sometimes there are good reasons, like, even with our, politics here, sometimes people vote for people they don't really want to vote for or don't like, but because it may affect their career, and so they have to vote a certain way so that they can protect their livelihood and their family and all that.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then these people are called out by the public because they've been, they've seen that they're supporting certain parties or certain individuals, and then these people get called out and then they have their careers cancelled. When that's the culture that we live in now.
Right. You can't have an opinion. You can't have something or something that affects your life. It's ridiculous. We should
have your opinion from the start. That's the key. Have your opinion from the very beginning. If you have your opinions and your views locked in before you start growing your community and start growing the people that are surrounding you, you can't fail. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you're the people that are going to follow you and support you are going to be people that follow and support your views and opinions. And
totally. And that's what I love about the metal community, because there are no outsiders. And, we don't have to think the same. We don't have to do anything, look the same, anything the same. But we communicate with each other, and we're one big family that everybody's entitled to be themselves.
It's super inclusive. And it's even down to fashion, dress sense, music, everything, any way you want to express yourself as a person. The metal scene, the metal community, hardcore as well is exactly the same. Hardcore scene, hardcore community, all those guys. There's just that inclusivity that's not there in other music genres. It's not there. I think the only other music genre, like sort of outside that and outside those sort of alternative spans that I've seen a lot of this in is hip hop. There's a lot of real togetherness in hip hop. Especially like the underground hip hop scenes, which are sort of exploding in Ireland at the moment, which is class. So I think that it's good to be part of this, and it's good to be in a band that are kind of, we float between genres. We're not stuck. We don't railroad ourselves and call ourselves a metal band. We've been calling ourselves for a while Groovecore because it's the
yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Groovecore is probably the like it started as a joke within the band. Like it was us just saying, ironically, it was never supposed to be a real thing. But in terms of like actual genre shifting, it's probably the thing that personifies us the most because we've got the core stuff from deathcore, hardcore, metalcore that we have in there as well. But then there's also a lot of groove. There's a lot of heavy influence from groove metal bands, especially everybody in the band is a Pantera fan. And this
I was going to say right from the beginning, that's to me, that's the groove part of your band is the influence from Pantera.
Stuff. And this then falls back to what we were talking about earlier. People like following certain individuals. Phil Anselmo was a bit of a douchebag, isn't he? But like, I love Pantera. I always fucking will, man. They'll always be one of my favorite bands. Phil's done some stupid shit in the past, but that's not going to stop me from liking their music.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, a lot of people make mistakes, say stupid shit, or what they say gets misconstrued, or what they do gets misconstrued. I know Phil personally, and I'm a Jew. So, by what I'm walking my talk. By the way the world is right now, I wouldn't like him just because I'm a Jew because of the fucking rumors or stupid shit. He's the nicest guy, man. And like, he doesn't, like, he got a bad rap with being just stupid. And, you know, when you're doing drugs and drinking.
And this is it as well. I think some of it was just fucking stupidity. Some of it was stupidity. Some of it was too much fucking booze. But
well, that's what I'm saying. When you're drunk or on drugs, you do stupid shit that you don't even know you're fucking doing. And yeah, you can't sit there and blame it on that because you made the choice to do it. But, you know, sit down and communicate with somebody and find out what really happened instead of like assuming. And I think communication is key, even if, like, this will blow your mind, but I actually literally sat down and had a conversation with a real neo-Nazi, and because I was forced to work with this dude, and I had two choices. I could either talk to him and find out why he thinks the way he does, and maybe kind of help to modify his thinking by acting the right way, or I could kick the shit out of him and just prove the point of why he hated me just for being a Jew.
There was a clear third option there. You could have done both.
That's
true too. Out of him and educated him. But yeah,
right. And
that
is my first thing is to kick the shit out of him. But you know, I did talk to him, and what I found out was he was just brainwashed, but by stupid, ignorant people. That is the only people he was surrounded with, and he was told shit. And then when he was talking to me, instead of me attacking him and being an asshole, he listened because I wasn't being an asshole, and he was like, oh, wow, maybe they were wrong. And like, it changed his viewpoints. You're not going to change people's viewpoints by beating the piss out of their opinion. You know, they're going to beat the piss back.
I'm a big fan of people as well, man. Like, I'm a big believer in people, and I'm a big believer, obviously, people shape us, especially being in a band. You've got to believe in people. People are the ones that pay your tickets. They're the ones that buy your merch. They're the people that turn up to your shows, and they're the reason why you can do what you do. So I have to believe in people. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And it has bit me in the ass probably more fucking times than I could care to remember. But at the same time, I like to give people those second chances. I like to believe that people can be better.
It's a better way to be for yourself, man.
Yeah, of course.
Like, it sucks walking around angry all the time, you know? And like, the politicians are the ones doing it. The politicians throughout the world are the ones turning us against each other, and we need to stand up against all of them. My viewpoint is they're all on the same team, and it ain't mine. Like, in my country, Democrat, Republican, it don't fucking matter. They're two sides of the same fucking coin, and they can go fuck themselves, all of them.
Yeah, all politicians, like, don't get me wrong, there probably is good politicians in there. And there's also probably politicians that I think are pieces of shit, but they maybe have some views and they maybe have some opinions on stuff that I do agree with. They've maybe done some things that I thought, oh, you know what, that's good. But that doesn't make you a good fucking person just because you've gone and maybe had one or two wins. You like, being a good person that's where your moral compass points to. Like, you're not a good person from being a fucking sex offender or being an absolute fucking dimwit. Like, Yeah. We really went in fucking heavy here straight off the bat, didn't we?
Well, yeah. Like it's part of your music too, which is what I love because,
yeah.
So many people say that musicians should stop preaching and like stick to the music. That is what music's about. It's about expression, and it is about getting those things out of you. It's therapy, getting the anger out, getting the things that piss you off in the world. Music has always been a voice for the injustices in society. Like, so why all of a sudden should it not have a voice? It's fucking ridiculous. I think it's the most powerful voice we can have. And I have this philosophy. We could solve all the world problems if we had just one major music festival that was a rock metal music festival that the whole world was required to attend. And then we could just work everything out in the fucking pit.
Like a purge for music. One day a week.
Biggest wall of death ever. And boom. Because listen, you know how it is. People don't know. In the pit, we're not out there to hurt and maim people. We're out there so we don't hurt and maim people.
Yeah, it's expressionism. It's a way for people to escape from the everyday bullshit that they're facing in society at the moment. And I think that's why music and escapism is so important as well. And circling back to what you mentioned about keeping your voice and keeping music and keeping politics and keeping all that shit out of music, it's fucking stupid. Like, if that happened, some of the greatest music that's ever been written or created has been written because it's either politically driven or it's being driven by emotional response or it's a cry for help or it's to do with substance and alcohol abuse. There is always a story there.
Yeah.
So if you are those people that sit at home and be like, keep your politics out of my music, keep your messages out of my music, I just want to shut the fuck up. All of your music's got messages in it.
Yeah, 100%. And to your point about the human being thing, okay, I'm big about that. Just be a good human being. I don't give a fuck what you believe as long as you're not intentionally trying to hurt people. Just you do you. Just don't intentionally try to hurt people.
Yeah.
And perfect example. I don't know if you saw what happened. I think it was yesterday. Fucking Roger Waters.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking talking shit about Ozzy. Like, dude, the dude just passed away. His family is in mourning.
He is a real person.
Whether
you like Ozzy Osbourne or not, or whether you liked his music or not, or whether you agreed with his opinions. And yes, Ozzy did some fucking stupid shit. Like, he was high off his drugs. He did stupid stuff like bite the heads of animals. And he did some other horrible things with animals that we'll not get into. But I loved Ozzy Osbourne. I loved Ozzy growing up. He influenced me as a musician. He influenced metal as a music. He influenced every single person that is in this genre. There's no one that can stand back. Like, we wouldn't be here without Ozzy Osbourne. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much. Whether you dislike the guy, you have so much to be grateful for. Ozzy Osbourne.
At the end of the day, all that bad shit he did, he ended up a good human being. At the end of the day,
and people change. People fucking change. People We stop taking drugs. People stop fucking drinking all the time. People try to change their ways. But this is the society that we live in now, man. You don't get that second chance anymore. You make one mistake and you're fucking out the door. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. We're humans. We are creatures of chaos. We're creatures of emotion. We have anger, we have sadness, we have hate, we have animosity, we have everything within inside us, and every single person that's on this planet has that. So also be kind to people. Take a step back, realize situations that other people are in, and obviously there are wankers out there as well that don't deserve those chances, but like, try and be kind. Try and remember that we're all trying to get from A to B, and we're all trying to get there the same way, and we're all trying to work shit out our own ways. Like, so yeah.
And so that's what I love about your music, because your music is not only badass and heavy as shit, but it sends strong, positive messages and talks against the negativity in society. And I'm all about that. And I don't know, like, it's funny you made a comment earlier, and I'm thinking now, we've really made the radio bleed today.
Well, that's it. So, funny story about the song title. So, Radio Bleed, was a replacement for a track that we had written on the album that we weren't very happy with. So we've shelved that for now. We're keeping some of the riffs. We're going to deconstruct it, and we'll obviously probably build it into a track in the future. So we took that song off the album, and we needed another song. So Nick and Reese actually went to Reese's house, where we do all the demos. So Reese is our drummer. For anybody who doesn't know, Reese records all of our demos, and then we obviously take them into the studio so that we're a bit prepared for Josh. Josh is like the fifth member of this band. Without Josh, our songs wouldn't sound anything like the way they do. We help write, we have ideas, we collaborate on our music together. And I think that's what a good producer does. It's a collaboration. It's not just a band go and record this shit. And it's not just the producer being like, I'm going to change this because I like it. It's the collaboration, which is what we've always had with Josh. So we took this song off the album, and we were driving in the car after I had heard the initial song, and it was fantastic. Like, I remember Reese and Nick sending the riffs through for Radio Bleed and just being like, this is fucking class. This literally, and I'm quite picky. So a lot of the times, like when they send me stuff, I'll be like, no, this needs to be changed. This needs to go here. This needs to go there. But they sent me the song and it was essentially perfect. And it's the first time that ever happened. So the main thing that stuck out to me was that main riff the whole way through it. It's like down, 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 down. So that's like, it was so repetitive and it's so throughout the song and it pops up in different places in the background. And I was like, that's like one riff the whole way through the song, but it's in different variations and we're doing different things with it and there's stops. I was like, whatever songs do that? Bleed. Bleed by Meshuggah was, and I know they're not similar. I know that they're not even in the same genre, but it was
same structure.
Having that same riff pattern the whole way through. But then we were like, but let's make it like Bleed, but something you'd maybe hear on a rock radio station, because like Meshuggah isn't getting played at 2:00 in the afternoon on a rock radio station. But I wanted to kind of give it that new age feel, a bit of hip hop. With the DJ scratching and stuff in the background, and kind of bring it into 2025. So that is where the song name Radio Bleed comes from.
I love it.
It could be like a radio version of Bleed.
I love it. That's pretty cool. And what I really dug too about the video is that it was done in a skateboard park, because I'm a skateboarder. The only thing I have to say is, man, you guys should have been skateboarding while playing.
Well, we were. If you look at the video, our guitarist Nick, there's a few shots of Nick in the background, and there's a few shots of Nick with the guitar on the skateboard.
See, I missed the part where he had the guitar on the skateboard. So there you go.
He is. There's a few shots.
I stand corrected. That's
you gotta keep an eye though, because like there's so much happening. It's such a busy video, and we decided we wanted to do it in 4:3 because we just a bit edgier. Put those black bars at the side, rewind people back to the 90s and how music videos used to look. They're not in 16:9 anymore. It's not all clean. It's not all polished. That was kind of the aspect of it. And the main messaging behind Radio Bleed is, so we've all had a friendship or a relationship, or we've known somebody and that has either went toxic or they've fallen out or that person has stabbed them in the back. We've all kind of felt that way. And yourself, whether it be an individual or a group of people, you always feel ostracized, you feel isolated, you feel on your own, you feel like you've got nowhere to turn to and nobody to speak to when you're going through that situation with either those people or those individuals. And then you realize when you take a step back and you take a breath and you look around you, there's always someone to speak to, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's just reaching out to somebody. If you don't have any immediate friends or family, there's other support groups, there's other charities, there's stuff. There is always going to be somebody who will open an ear and listen to you, no matter how isolated and how ostracized you feel like you are being from society, from your friends, from your family. And Radio Bleed is about the togetherness within that. So it's about finding the peace within the chaos and finding the community where you belong, kind of thing. And that was just kind of put your feet back, having a beer, drinking some Buckfast as we do in the video as well. And they were not props, they were actual alcohol.
Listen, you wouldn't be Irish if they were props.
Well, this is it.
And what's cool too is, as you were talking about the old school 90s thing, I was thinking about it. I'm like, not the music itself, but the video gives me like reminders of old suicidal videos.
Yeah, that's it. It's old school suicidal tendencies, old school Pantera, Like it's all that like old school 90s togetherness as well. Get off your fucking phone, stop scrolling, go and sit in a skate park with your friends, have a drink, watch your mate do a kickflip, break his fucking wrist, and not see you again for 3 months. But that's real life. You know what I mean? Like that is the world that we live in, and it's a bit more of what we want to capture. We want to. One of the sentences I've said about our music before is that it is familiar and reminiscent, but it's also current and cohesive. So we've got all those aspects of the old school bands that influenced us, like Pantera, like Machine Head, like Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, all those guys. There's elements of that old school sound within our music and within our visuals and the way we look. But also we wanted to make sure that it had new, polished radio sound.
And I love hearing that too, because nowadays I find that, I don't know, a lot of metal is so programmatic is the best way to put it. I call it like an algebraic equation to make a metal song. And like some of these, like with the micro genres, that's why I love it. You know, it's funny. You made me laugh when you're saying how you came up with Groovecore, because I do that shit in interviews at festivals all the time. I'll have bands like, if you were to pick what genre and make up a new genre that was your genre, what would it be? And I do it because it's so ridiculous how many genres, subgenres, micro genres there are that, there might as well be one for every band because it's so stupid. And a lot of those genres, they're so fine-tuned that they use a formula to make metal music. Metal music was never a formula. So bands like you that are bringing in different elements, that's what makes you unique and stand out, because it's not predictable. It's
soul. And it's the same as our live performance. Anybody who's ever came to see us live, yes, we use backtracks. I think it's probably in this day and age fucking stupid not to use them. But our backtracks are so minimalistic. You will literally hear maybe some synths or something in the background, but what you're seeing live is live as fuck. We don't use in-ears. We still play through the monitor. I don't use anything at all. The only person that uses any sort of click track or anything like that in the band is our drummer. And that's just to keep the rest of us tight. Everything else is just off him. So we play like a traditional band as well. And it's been said to us so many times when people came to see us live, it's raw, it's energetic, it's impactful, and you feel like you've gone to see a live band. I have seen so many bands recently, man, and I'm actually fucking sick of it, to be honest. I'm sick of going to see bands that sound exactly like they do on record. That do not differentiate. They don't try. There's no jamming. There's no
mistakes.
There's no mistakes. There's no fucking about. There's no we pause our backing track a few times throughout our set, and we do things on top of that. So our drummer will hit pause and we'll riff, we'll do some bits and pieces. And it's something that's lost in music now. I've seen bands as well. They all have their in-ears in, they're hearing everything coming through their head, and they're completely disconnected from their crowd. They don't speak. They don't speak to anybody. Like I've said, they just stand there and they play their music. They fuck off. They don't go, well, get the fuck up on stage, open this fucking place up.
I was gonna say, if I was singing and I had the in-ears in, I would not even feel like I was there. I would feel like I was in a studio, like you want to be part of the audience. I want to hear the audience. I want to feel the audience. I want to be part of it, And so to your point of being disconnected, I've always felt that with the in-ears. Like if I were a singer, I wouldn't want that shit. I want to be part of it. That's part of being a front person too.
And we never want to move to that. It's something that I've said, and I know that probably doesn't align with certain maybe labels or certain management or anything like that, but it's not something that we're willing to compromise on. Our live sound is fucking good. And that's me speaking non-biased from somebody who has just heard videos of us, who has seen videos of us play. Our live sounds good, and it doesn't need any more than what it's got. Now, would I want to add more production in? Stage shows, some screens and shit behind us doing cool stuff, fire, all that shit, 100%.
Right, visuals that's different. That's just a performance aspect of it.
But the actual sound, that stays the same, because that's where our that's our heart. You know what I mean? That's our soul. That's our expressionism. That's where we get the fuck about. That's where we get to interact with our fans. It's how we create these unique live experiences where people are coming and they're fucking climbing up poles and all sorts. Like, we've had people climb on roofs and everything at our shows. Like, it's been wild.
I love it.
And
That's old school too, because I've been at shows like that back in the day.
Yeah, and I think you lose that, man. I think in ears you lose that. And I've been, like I said, so many bands that I've seen recently, and they're just standing on stage. They're going through the motions. They're playing, and I get it as well. If you're a touring act, it's exhausting. It is exhausting, like being on the road for so long. And I get that sometimes you might just have a night where you want to stand. But I think that if there are people, it's like being paid for a service, isn't it? Like your fans are paying tickets to come and see you.
Yeah.
You're paying your bills.
If you're a true artist, yes, it's tiring. But once that you're up on that stage, it's like you go into this zone.
Same.
Like even me, times when I'm sick, as soon as I turn on the mic, I'm not sick. I don't allow myself to be in my head. As soon as the mic's off, then I can fucking die. That's the way I look at it. Okay. And that anybody that has passion for what they do, that is how it is. Like, you know, you're in this zone, you're up on stage, and yeah, you may be tired as fuck, but the real artists give it everything they have and leave it all on the stage.
Yeah. And it's something that I'll say about my boys as well. And not to just to inflate my own ego here, but like, obviously, Reese sits behind the kit. Reese is behind the kit. He stands up every now and again. He'll give a bit of a shout to the crowd and put his hands up and shit, but he's behind the kit. And then you've got Nick, who is fucking crazy. Like, Nick is climbing over the crowd. Nick is in the crowd. Like, every single show we play, that boy is in the crowd with a circle pit or some shit going around him. Lee is the same. Lee gets off stage a bit, but the difference between Lee and Nick is Lee's a classically trained musician. Lee has a master's in music, which he never talks about, by the way. Fucking time. But Lee is classically trained, and when you watch Lee play, he plays a 6-string bass. We match our 6-string guitar with a 6-string bass, and Lee is like just fucking doing loads of mad slapping shit, and he's doing loads of like crazy, almost Tosin Abasi sort of style stuff, but on bass. And it's the difference between them two. Lee's effort and energy goes into his precision, whereas Nick's effort and energy goes into giving a good stage show alongside me. So we've got a really nice balance. We've got the sound and everything being leveled right, and everything having that polished sound, but there's also that rawness and that aggression and that energy to the performance as well.
Nice. And speaking of live, you have some tour dates coming up this month and next month, including one that is in your hometown at Limelight in Belfast.
Yep.
So that brought me back because I used to hang out at a club, Limelight in New York. That was a famous club back in the day.
Yeah.
That was insane. Like and it was an old church that was converted into a club. So you would climb up to the top and ring the bell, like after you got drunk and being stupid.
Yeah, the Limelight's kind of our home ground, so that would be our home stage. We play majority of our headlining shows and majority of our support shows and stuff are in the Limelight. We've got, so this month in September we are in Nottingham on the 24th. We're in Birmingham in Subside on the 25th. On the 26th, we're in the Griffin in Bristol. On the 27th, we're in San Diego's and Leeds. And then on the 28th, we finish up in Newcastle. That's the UK leg. And then we are back for the 8th, 9th, and 10th. 8th is in Limerick with Thy Art is Murder and Harriet. And then the 9th is in Belfast with Thy Art is Murder and Harriet. And then 10th, same. I don't know why I said their name twice, but yeah, we're in Dublin. But that is one of the biggest achievements we probably had to date, was landing that tour.
Nice.
With Thy Art is Murder. It's a fucking huge band.
Yeah.
Harriet as well. They're an up and coming British band, and they are fucking outstanding. If you've
they're badass. I interviewed them over at Bloodstock.
They're great, and they seem like we haven't met them, we haven't spoken to them or anything yet, but they all seem like nice people. They all I think it's Julian's their drummer. Like, he gives us the time of day, responds to messages and stuff like that.
Nice.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's like And it's something that we do as well. Like, it's anyone who reaches out for our social medias. And I guess this goes out to anybody who's listening right now. A big part of what we do is about togetherness. It's about mental health. It's about supporting each other. It's about community. I'm a massive Hatebreed fan. And Hatebreed sort of got me into hardcore, which is my biggest love in music at the moment, especially. Hardcore is, it's about standing shoulder to shoulder with your friends. It's about picking your mate up if they've fallen. It's about picking strangers up if they've fallen. It's inclusivity again. And that is a big part of what our music is about. That's why we're called Survivalist. We're called Survivalist because it's all we're fucking all trying to do is survive on this planet, and we're all trying to do it together. And for anybody who's listening to this now, if you're ever struggling, if you're not coping with your head, if you're not coping with any aspect of your life, our DMs are always open. Am I going to get back to you fucking immediately? Maybe not. Maybe so. I might reply straight away. But if you're having a rough day and you're feeling like there's no fucking other way out and shit's looking dark and you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, never do anything fucking stupid. Please drop us a message. Speak to us. Speak to any member of the band. That's what we're here for.
I love it. I love your attitude, and your music screams that same attitude. Everybody's got to definitely check you out. Tell everybody where they can connect to you guys on socials, where they can check out your new music, merch, all that good stuff.
Yeah, of course. So we're a metal band. We're not a YouTuber, so we know how difficult it is to grow YouTube. So we typically use other channels for our videos. Channels like Slam Worldwide, you can find our music on. You can find our music on the Circle Pit TV as well for YouTube, and then our older singles are still on our channel as well. And then we'll maybe upload them in the future at some point once we finish the album cycle on our channel, so they're easier to find for everyone. But for our Instagram is right here, and I did this just before this call. And as I said, the Pipe Man, I said I'm doing this so that I don't have to shamelessly self-promote us, but here the fuck I am. We're at survivalist.gc.groovecore. You can find us on that handle for anything. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Linktree, we're in your mom's DMs, we're fucking everywhere.
I love it. Well, you guys are badass. Everybody needs to check you out, and look forward to seeing a lot more from you. Fucking have a blast on that tour too. And
yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking sick. Yeah.
And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and thanks very much for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.